Fanus!
You have learned so much already, Dragonborn. Growing your gift too quickly would be dangerous. But there are many words of power in Skyrim, carved in the dragon tongue. Even from here we can feel the Thu'um resonate from them. Finding these lost words would be a sufficient test to temper your abilities with experience. Ask when you are ready to search. There is only silence right now. Perhaps later we will hear one of the lost words. We have felt the whisper of a word. Give me your map, and I will show you where its echo can be found. Sky, guard you. Your training proceeds well, Dragonborn. Wind, guide you. Breath and focus. Dovahkiin. This is High Hrothgar, our temple, sanctuary, and home. We ask that you respect our solitude while you're here. I sometimes forget you are not versed in the dragon tongue as we are. This is a rough translation. Long has the storm crown languished, with no worthy brow to sit upon. By our breath we bestow it now to you, in the name of Kine, in the name of Shor, and in the name of Atmora of old. You are Ysmir now, the dragon of the north. Hearken to it. We spoke the traditional words of greeting to a dragonborn who has accepted our guidance. The same words were used to greet the young Talos when he came to High Hrothgar, before he became the Emperor Tiber Septim. 5. Our leader Paarthurnax lives alone on the peak of the throat of the world. When your voice can open the path, you will know you are ready to speak to him. Their voices are too powerful for anyone not trained in the way to withstand. Even a whisper could kill you. No doubt the appearance of a dragonborn at this time is not an accident. Your destiny is surely bound up with the return of the dragons. You should focus on honing your voice, and soon your path will be made clear. The voice was a gift of the goddess Kynareth at the dawn of time. She gave mortals the ability to speak as dragons do. Although this gift has often been misused, the only true use of the voice is for the worship and glory of the gods. True mastery of the voice can only be achieved when your inner spirit is in harmony with your outward actions. In the contemplation of the sky, Kynareth's domain, and the practice of the voice, we strive to achieve this balance. We study the way of the voice according to the teachings of our founder, Jürgen Windcaller. Very few are permitted to study with us here at High Hrothgar. But in your case, Dragonborn, it is a privilege to guide you towards mastery of your voice. Wind, guide you. Sky, guard you. Sky above, voice within. The Dragonborn is an exception to all the rules. The dragon blood itself is a gift of the gods. If we accept one gift, how can we deny the other? As Dragonborn, you have received the ability to shout directly from Akatosh. We therefore seek to guide you on the proper use of your gift, which transcends the restrictions which bind other mortals. That is commendable. But remember, the dragon blood is itself a gift of Akatosh. Do not try to deny that gift. Your destiny requires you to use your voice. Why else would Akatosh have bestowed this power upon you? If you remember to use your voice in service to the purpose of Akatosh, you will remain true to the way. The old tales say that he can travel into Sovngarde to devour the souls of the dead. You must find out how he does this before he regains his strength and returns. What you have already learned in a few days took even the most gifted of us years to achieve. Dragons have the inborn ability to learn and project their voice. Dragons also are able to absorb the power of their slain brethren. A few mortals are born with similar abilities. Whether a gift or a curse has been a matter of debate down through the centuries. Some believe that Dragonborn are sent into the world by the gods at times of great need. We will speak more of that later, when you are ready. Good. Then you will be ready for whatever lies ahead. There is indeed much that we know that you do not. That does not mean that you are ready to understand it. Do not let your easy mastery of the voice tempt you into the arrogance of power. That has been the downfall of many Dragonborn before you. He was a great war leader of the ancient Nords, a master of the voice, or tongue. After the disaster at Red Mountain, where the Nord army was annihilated, he spent many years pondering the meaning of that terrible defeat. He finally came to realize that the gods had punished the Nords for their arrogant and blasphemous misuse of the voice. He was the first to understand that the voice should be used solely for the glory and worship of the gods, not the glory of men. Jürgen Windcaller's mastery of the voice eventually overcame all opposition, and the way of the voice was born. The others do not speak. Their voices are too powerful for you to withstand. As I said, you will know you are ready when your voice can open the path to him. Dragons have always been able to shout. Language is intrinsic to their very being. There is no difference in the dragon tongue between debating and fighting. Shouting comes as naturally to a dragon as breathing or speaking. In mythic times, when mortal kind was in great need, the goddess Kinnereth granted us the ability to speak as dragons do. For most people, long years of training are required to learn even the simplest shout. But for you, the dragon speech is in your blood, and you learn it almost without effort. Do not be afraid. Your shout will not harm us. Shout at us, and let us taste of your voice. Strike us with the power of your voice. Master Bori has agreed to teach you the first word of a new shout. Attend to him.
Grow.
Now it's your turn. Use both words, if you can. Use both fus and ro. Together they will make the shout more powerful. Master Bori, now let us see how quickly you can master your new thum. Master Wulfgar will demonstrate Whirlwind Sprint. Then it will be your turn. You must hear the word within yourself before you can project it into a thum.
Wuld. Nal thumu mu ofaninu dovakin nal sulek tokan nal sulek to shur ark nal suek to atmoraseuth nal thumu Muofaninu dovakin nal sulek tokan nal sulek to shur arg nal sulek to atmoraseuth
Nal thumu muofaninu dovakin nal sulek dokan nal sulek do shor ark nal sulek do atmoraseuth.
Lingra crossis saran strundul vodni valan clov pran na Lingra crossis saran strundul vodni valan clov pran na Meis nu ismir Tovasebrom daman da rok Lingra crossis saran strundul voth nid balan clov ran now Meis nu ismir Tovasebrom daman da rok Meis nu ismir Tovasebrom daman da rok
Meis nu ismir Tovasebrom daman da rok
Nal thumu mu fan ni nu, do vakin, nal sulek do kan, nal sulek do shur, ark nal sulek do atmorasmuth.
You have completed your training, Dragonborn. We would speak to you.
Da.
Lingra crossis haran, strundul, vosni balan, cloth pran now. Stand between us and prepare yourself. Few can withstand the unbridled voice of the greybeards, but you are ready.
No. Guest.
Well done. Again, you learn quickly. Once more, Bex! Master Einarth is waiting. Impressive. Your thumb is precise. You show great promise, Dragonborn. Master Einarth will now teach you Ro, the second word in Unrelenting Force. Without training, you have already taken the first steps towards projecting your voice into a thum, a shout. Now let us see if you are willing and able to learn. We will perform your next trial in the courtyard. Follow Master Bori. So, a Dragonborn appears at this moment in the turning of the age. Try it again. Breath and focus. Is this your best effort? Again. Come, Dragonborn, attend to Master Bori. Now we will see how quickly you can master a new shout. Stand next to me. Master Bori will open the gate. Use your whirlwind sprint to pass through before it closes. You show promise. Remain focused and you will fulfill your potential. You have the ability, but you need to learn discipline if you wish to fulfill your potential. When you shout, you speak in the language of dragons. Thus your dragon blood gives you an inborn ability to learn words of power. That's it. One more time. Approach Master Bori, and he will gift you his knowledge of Wold. Approach Master Bori, and he will gift you his knowledge of Na. Approach Master Bori, and he will gift you his knowledge of Kest. Dovahkiin, you have tasted the voice of the greybeards and passed through unscathed. High Hrothgar is open to you. With all three words together, this shout is much more powerful. Use it wisely. You are ready to learn the final word of Unrelenting Force, Da, which means push. We will now see how you learn a completely new shout. I see that you have already begun to learn the whirlwind sprint shout. Master Bori will teach you Wold, which means whirlwind. Master Bori will teach you Na, fury, the second word of whirlwind sprint. Master Wulfgar will now gift you with his knowledge of Da. Master Bori will teach you Kest, tempest, the third word of whirlwind sprint. Now we will see how quickly you can master a new word. Dragonborn, it is you. Welcome to High Hrothgar. Come, we will do your next test inside the hall. As part of your initiation, Master Einarth will allow you to tap into his understanding of Ro. Well, that is how the rest of us learn shouts. As Dragonborn, you can absorb a slain dragon's life force and knowledge directly. But learning a word of power is only the first step. You must unlock its meaning through constant practice in order to use it in a shout. All shouts are made up of 3 words of power. As you master each word, your shout will become progressively stronger. Ro means balance in the dragon tongue. Combine it with fus, force, to focus your thumb more sharply. You must feel the word within yourself. You learn quickly, as only a Dragonborn can. Master Bori is waiting. You are now ready for your last trial. Retrieve the horn of Jürgen Windcaller, our founder, from his tomb in the ancient fane of Ostengrav. Remain true to the way of the voice, and you will return. Masters Einarth, Bori, and Wulfgar will each demonstrate a shout. Make your choice. And don't worry, though. You will find all 3 words in Ustangrav. You learn a new word like a master. You truly do have the gift. Use your unrelenting force shout to strike the targets as they appear. Strike the targets as they appear. Breath and focus. Vex! We will do your next test in the courtyard. Follow Master Bori. Master Bori will teach you the first word of a new shout. Attend to him. Follow me. Master Bori will test your whirlwind sprint. Stand next to me and prepare your whirlwind sprint. Master Bori will give the signal. No, indeed not. But beware that your skill does not outstrip your wisdom. You were given this gift by the gods for a reason. It is up to you to determine how best to use it. Your quick mastery of a new Thuum is astonishing. I'd heard the stories of the abilities of Dragonborn, but to see it for myself. We will see if you truly have the gift. Show us, Dragonborn. Let us taste of your voice. First, let us see if you truly are Dragonborn. Let us taste of your voice. We are the Greybeards, followers of the Way of the Voice. You stand in high Hrothgar, on the slopes of Kinnarith's sacred mountain. Here we commune with the voice of the sky, and strive to achieve balance between our inner and outer selves. We are here to guide you in that pursuit, just as the Greybeards have sought to guide those of the dragon blood that came before you. You are not the first. There have been many of the dragon blood since Akatosh first bestowed that gift upon mortal kind. Whether you are the only dragonborn of this age, that is not ours to know. You are the only one that has been revealed thus far. That is all I can say. We are honored to welcome a dragonborn to High Hrothgar. We will do our best to teach you how to use your gift in fulfillment of your destiny. That is for you to discover. We can show you the way, but not your destination. You have shown that you are dragonborn. You have the inborn gift. But do you have the discipline and temperament to follow the path laid out for you? That remains to be seen. Shout for us, Dragonborn. Then we may have time for questions. Now, tell me, Dragonborn, why have you come here? I am Master Arngeir. I speak for the Greybeards. First, Master Wulfgar will teach you the final word of unrelenting force. You are ready. Stand in the center of the room and prepare yourself to taste the voice of the Greybeards. Come inside. The other masters will meet us there. You've retrieved the horn of Jörgen Windcaller. Well done. You have now passed all the trials. Come with me. It is time for us to recognize you formally as Dragonborn. The path to Paarthurnax is perilous, not to be embarked upon lightly. Clear skies will blow away the mist, but only for a time. Look! Dragonborn, wait. Va! I will grant you my understanding of clear skies. This is your final gift from us, Dragonborn. Use it well. Kor.
Arngeir, rock lostovakin, strundul, rock fentin vak, Paarthurnax. Arngeir, rock lostovakin, strundul, rock fentin vak, Paarthurnax.
It was created by those who had lived under the unimaginable cruelty of Alduin's dragon cult. Their whole lives were consumed with hatred for dragons, and they poured all their anger and hatred into this shout. When you learn a shout, you take it into your very being. In a sense, you become the shout. In order to learn and use this shout, you will be taking this evil into yourself. Paarthurnax is the only one who can answer your questions about Dragonrend. Follow me. I will show you how to open the path to Paarthurnax. The path to Paarthurnax lies through this gate. I will show you how to open the way. The Dragonrend shout is evil. Would you cure one evil with another? The Blades, of course. They specialize in meddling in matters they barely understand. Their reckless arrogance knows no bounds. Keep moving, stay focused on your goal, and you will reach the summit. The Blades were born of dragon-hating crusaders. They still carry that legacy, although they may not remember from whence it came. They carried out a genocide of dragons when they first came to Tamriel. And now they will do it again. With your help. The words, wait. Use clear skies to open the way to Paarthurnax. Perhaps not. But this shout was used once before, was it not? And here we are again. Have you considered that Alduin was not meant to be defeated? Those who overthrew him in ancient times only postponed the day of reckoning. They did not stop it. If the world is meant to end, so be it. Let it end and be reborn. But not Dragonrend. The knowledge of that shout was lost in the time before history began. Perhaps only its creators ever knew it. But I am not the one to speak of it to you. Only Paarthurnax, the master of our order, can answer that question, if he so chooses. To get the answers you seek, you must travel to the top of the mountain and speak to our master, Paarthurnax. Forgive me, I was intemperate. I allowed my emotions to cloud my judgment. Master Einarth reminded me of my duty. The decision whether or not to help you is not mine to make. I have given my answer. Go and reconsider your course. It is called Dragonrend, but its words of power are unknown to us. We do not regret this loss. Dragonrend holds no place within the way of the voice. I cannot teach you the shout, because I do not know it. No, I cannot teach it to you, because I do not know it. So the Blades have survived yet another disaster of their own making, and continue to meddle in things they do not understand. Only those whose voice is strong can find the path. We will teach you a shout to open the way to Paarthurnax. Not hate, distrust, and fear. The Blades have always sought to turn the Dragonborn away from the path of wisdom. If you wish to stand alone, so be it. If you wish for our help, you will answer my question. Yes, for matters of such gravity we need to know where you stand, or who you stand with. They have always sought to turn the Dragonborn from the path of wisdom. Have you learned nothing from us? Would you simply be a tool in the hands of the Blades to be used for their own purposes? Ah, the prophecy. Be wary of prophecy. Some are meant as a guide, some as a warning. Are you sure you can tell one from the other? What I want is irrelevant. This shout was used once before, was it not? And here we are again. Have you considered that Alduin was not meant to be defeated? Those who overthrew him in ancient times only postponed the day of reckoning. They did not stop it. If the world is meant to end, so be it. Let it end and be reborn. No, of course not. Forgive me, Dragonborn. I have been intemperate with you. But heed my warning. The Blades may say they serve the Dragonborn, but they do not. They never have. Do not be so sure about that. Beware. The Blades may claim to serve the Dragonborn, but they do not. They never have. As for me, I kept from you only what you were not yet ready to know, are still not ready to know, as your question reveals. No, not now. Not until you return to the path of wisdom. Do not confuse inaction with indifference. Often the wisest course is to wait and watch events unfold until the time to act is clear. The Blades have never followed that path, of course. Those who are ignorant find the way of the voice easy to ridicule. This is why so few follow it, and why the world is as it is. Where did you learn of that? Who have you been talking to? Where did you learn of a shout used to defeat Alduin? He is our leader. He surpasses us all in his mastery of the way of the voice. He lives in seclusion on the very peak of the mountain. He speaks to us only rarely, and never to outsiders. Being allowed to see him is a great privilege. You weren't ready. You still aren't ready. But, thanks to the Blades, You now have questions that only Paarthurnax can answer. That may be what you were here for, Dragonborn. But stopping Alduin is one thing. Helping you wipe out dragons again is quite another. Dragons are part of the natural order of the world. The Blades thought to change the order to suit themselves by wiping out the dragons. But again, we see that the natural order will be restored one way or another. Perhaps we would have dragon allies against Alduin if the ancient Blades had not acted so arrogantly. Well, so be it. If he believes it is necessary for you to learn this, we will bow to his wisdom. We have never concerned ourselves with the scrolls. The gods themselves would rightly fear to tamper with such things. As for where to find it, such blasphemies have always been the stock in trade of the mages of Winterhold. They may be able to tell you something about the Elder Scroll you seek. So you spoke to Paarthurnax. The dragon blood burns bright within you. Did he tell you what you wanted to know? Did he teach you the dragon-rend shout? Take your question to the College of Winterhold. They may be able to help you. Such blasphemies are the calling of mages, not followers of the way. The old tales say that he is able to travel into Sovngarde to devour the souls of the dead. But they don't say how he does this. You misunderstand our authority. The Greybeards have never involved themselves in political affairs. Do you know Dragon's Reach? The Jarl of Whiterun's palace? Its name is no accident. The palace was originally built to hold a captive dragon. You might be able to trap him there, exactly. You'd require the Jarl's cooperation, of course. That might not be so easy to come by. You must trust in the rightness of your cause and the strength of your voice. Oh, this was back in the days of Olaf One-Eye, thousands of years ago. In those days, dragons could still be found among the remote mountain peaks before the Blades wiped them all out. Yes, of course. But how to force a dragon to talk to you? There is one possibility, but... No, the Jarl would never agree. I feared as much. I thought it was him we saw flying east after your battle. We are not warriors. What is overlooked in the Dragonborn is not permitted to any other followers of the Way of the Voice. Ah, Dragon's Reach. There are many difficulties, but I cannot think of a better plan. Although I fear the Jarl may not be easy to persuade. Remember, the Way of the Voice trains you for more than battle. Indeed, we believe that battle is the least of its uses. May the strength and truth of your voice serve you well. Breath and focus. Alduin? We heard the dragon-rend shout from here. You defeated him? Deliver the message to the warring parties. If they will listen, I will do what I can to bring them to terms. Even the Greybeards must bend to the winds of change, it seems. So be it. Tell Ulfric and General Tullius that the Greybeards wish to speak to them. We will see if they still remember us. Paarthurnax has made the decision to help you. This is the road we have to walk. I see. The dragon will lead you to Alduin, but without the Jarl's help. Please, if we have to negotiate the terms of the negotiation, we will never get anywhere. Now that everyone is here, please take your seats so we can begin. This council is unprecedented. We are gathered here at the Dragonborn's request. I ask that you all respect the spirit of High Hrothgar, and do your best to begin the process of achieving a lasting peace in Skyrim. Jarl Ulfric, General Tullius, take your seat, and we can begin. We all wait upon you, Dragonborn. Why delay? Please, take your seat so that we can begin. Perhaps this would be a good time to get the Dragonborn's input on this matter. I hope that we have all come here in the spirit of... You had best take advantage of this truce while it lasts. You did well here today. I don't think the truce will last long, but that will not be on your account. I fear this truce will not last. You gave the Empire too much. Ulfric will not let that stand for long. I fear this truce will not last. General Tullius will be looking for any opportunity to regain the advantage. It seems we may have an agreement. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Half Moon Mill. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Heljarken. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Angar's Mill. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Laureus Farm. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Whistling Mine. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Iverstead. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Shaw's Stone. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Hartwood Mill. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Sarethi Farm. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Barley Dock Farm. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Riverwood. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Rorikstead. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Carthwayston. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Old Hroldon. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Kolskegger Mine. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Stonehills. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Frost River Farm. The Empire will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Granite Hill. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Barley Dock Farm. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Riverwood. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Rorikstead. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Whistling Mine. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Ivarstead. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Shaw's Stone. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Hartwood Mill. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Sarethi Farm. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Carthwayston. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Old Hroldon. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Kolskegger Mine. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Stonehills. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Frost River Farm. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Granite Hill. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Half Moon Mill. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Heljarken. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Angar's Mill. The Stormcloaks will pay appropriate compensation for the massacre at Laureus Farm. Now that that's settled, may we proceed? What would the Empire want in return? I'm sure Jarl Ulfric does not expect something for nothing. These are the terms currently on the table. The Empire will allow Ulfric's forces to enter Falkreath. Jarl Siggeir will step down, and Dengeir of Stoon will take his place as Jarl. The Empire will withdraw its troops from the Pale, allowing Jarl Skald the Elder to return from exile. The Empire will withdraw its troops from Winterhold, allowing Jarl Corir to return from exile. Winterhold will be turned over to the Empire, although the college itself will retain its traditional neutrality. General Tullius, you both agree to this? Markarth remains allied to the Empire under the authority of Jarl Igmund. Riften remains allied to the Stormcloak cause under the authority of Jarl Leila Lawgiver. Markarth will be handed over to Ulfric's forces. Jarl Igmund will step down, and Thongvor Silverblood will become the Jarl of Markarth. Riften will be handed over to Imperial control. Jarl Leila Lawgiver will step down, and Maven Blackbriar will become the Jarl of Riften. The Stormcloaks will withdraw from the Reach, allowing Jarl Igmund to return to Markarth. The Stormcloaks will withdraw from the Rift, allowing Imperial troops unhindered access. Jarl Leila Lawgiver will step down, and Maven Blackbriar will become the Jarl of Riften. The Empire will withdraw its troops from the Reach, allowing Ulfric's forces unhindered access to Markarth. Jarl Igmund will go into exile, with Thongvor Silverblood taking his place as Jarl of Markarth. The Empire will withdraw its troops from the rift, allowing the return of Jarl Lela Lawgiver. Ulfric will withdraw his forces from Jarlmarch, allowing Jarl Igrod Ravencrone to return to Morthal. Ulfric will withdraw his forces from Falkreath, allowing Jarl Siggeir to return. Ulfric will allow Imperial forces into the Pale, Skald the Elder will go into exile, and Brynna Merilis will assume the Jarlship. Ulfric will allow Imperial troops to enter Winterhold. Corrier will replace Kraldar as Jarl. The Empire will allow Ulfric's forces to enter Jarlmarch. Igrod Ravencrone will go into exile, with Sorli the Builder replacing her as Jarl. Jarl Ulfric. Jarlmarch will be turned over to Ulfric, with Sorli the Builder assuming the Jarlship. Falkreath will be turned over to Ulfric, and Dengeir of Stoon will return as Jarl. Imperial forces will withdraw from the Pale, and Jarl Skald the Elder will be allowed to return to Dawnstar. Imperial troops will withdraw from Winterhold, and Kraldar will return as Jarl. The Stormcloaks will withdraw from Jarlmarch, and Igrod Ravencrone will resume the Jarlship. Falkreath will be returned to Imperial control under the authority of Jarl Siggeir. The Pale will be turned over to the Empire. Brynna Merilis will assume the Jarlship in Dawnstar. Jarl Vignar, I assume you are familiar with the Dragonborn's plan? I am sure General Tullius does not expect something for nothing. Jarl Ulfric, what would you want in return? Jarl Balgruuf, I assume you are familiar with the Dragonborn's plan? Who would like to open the negotiations? I know what path you set her on, and now Parthenax's wisdom is lost to us, just when we need it most. I know what path you set him on, and now Parthenax's wisdom is lost to us, just when we need it most. We know what path you've set her on, but she has made a different choice. Parthenax is still safe from your malice. We know what path you've set him on, but he has made a different choice. Parthenax is still safe from your malice. Were you? The hubris of the Blades truly knows no bounds. You are not invited here. You are not welcome here. Very well. You may enter. But the difficulty remains how to lure a dragon to Dragon's Reach at all. Are we ready to proceed? I should not have agreed to host this council. The Greybeards have no business involving ourselves in such matters. Peace? I doubt it. They may put their weapons down for a moment, but only to gather strength for the next bloodletting. They are not yet tired of war. Far from it. Do you know the ancient Nord word for war? Season unending. And so it has proved. Yes, which is why I allowed this violation of all our traditions. But regrets are pointless. Here we are. Take your seat at the council table, and let us see what wisdom we can find among these warriors of Skyrim. So, you've done it. The men of violence are gathered here, in these halls whose very stones are dedicated to peace. We should get started. You've shown yourself mighty, both in voice and deed. In order to defeat Alduin, you have gained mastery of dreadful weapons. Now it is up to you to decide what to do with your power and skill. Will you be a hero whose name is remembered in song throughout the ages? Or will you merely fade from history, unremembered? Let the way of the voice be your guide, and the path of wisdom will be clear to you. Breath and focus, Dragonborn. Your future lies before you. Or will your name be a curse to future generations? Perhaps, perhaps not. Dragons are not like normal mortal creatures, and Alduin is unique, even among dragonkind. He may be permitted to return at the end of time to fulfill his destiny as the World Eater, but that is for the gods to decide. You have done your part. We are all in your debt, Dragonborn. Does this mean it is done? Is Alduin truly defeated? I can see it in your eyes. You've seen the land of the gods, and returned. Then it is done at last. Perhaps it was all worth it in the end. At last it is over. Perhaps it was all worth it in the end. This is how you repay our trust. Paarthurnax's trust, his noble spirit, the wisdom of ages, his deep understanding of our existence, all gone? And for what? A mindless vendetta urged on you by a cabal of Akaviri barbarians. Begone, before even my philosophy is tested beyond the breaking point. We are men of peace, and you are not. Kynareth has placed the voice of wisdom within you, Dragonborn. All you need do is learn to listen to it, and your path will be clear. Ah, you're learning, Dragonborn. Doing nothing can be the wisest choice, although strangely often the most difficult. I trust that you will make the right choice in the end. Listen to the voice that Kynareth has placed within you, and your path will be clear. The same could be said for any of us, could it not? Are you so guiltless as to stand in judgment upon Paarthurnax? Listen to your inner voice before acting. Do not allow the blades to bully you into something you will later regret. After all, repentance is something you deny to Paarthurnax by meting out your so-called justice. Now you see why I've warned you against them bloodthirsty barbarians. Yes, but understand, during the days of Alduin's rule, all dragons were his allies. There was nothing else they could be. If not for Paarthurnax, Alduin could not have been overthrown. It was he that first taught men to use the Thu'um. What further business do you have with us? You've made your choice, Dragonborn. You are not welcome here. Speak, and then begone. We have nothing to say to each other. Paarthurnax's murder is beyond my powers of forgiveness.
Jon! Zun! Tus! Wult! Tas! Fik! Vis! For! Su! For! Zun! Fus! Wult! Is! Jol! Pat! Su! Lok! Fik! Tor! Hal! Ro! Na! Ru! Gra! Lo! Sven! Kra! Torsul! Halvik! Roda! Akest! Rumar! Radun! Bakor! Kradin! Losa!